only read half of this story because it's a long story. And tomorrow we'll read the other half, okay? So we're going to read all the way to where the sticky note is. When we get to the page where this sticky note is that says it's time to stop, and tomorrow we'll read the rest of this adventure, okay? So this is a fairy tale about Harold. Let's see here. This is a different one. Because you have Harold in the Purple Crayon. This is called Harold's Fairy Tale.
What? It's a
So
different one.
the further adventures with the Purple Crayon.
But mine is different than that one.
Harold's Fairy Tale.
But mine's different than
Dagan. Dagan. Okay, right here it says, to the enchanted garden. And it's got a little arrow pointing this direction.
So that's what Harold.
You think that's where Harold is? It could be. By Crockett Johnson.
No standing in
what
the
does a
chair,
fairy
sweetie.
tale always
That's
begin with?
dangerous. You have to be safe,
Once upon a
so you
time.
have to sit
What
in the
if
chair or
the
stand next to
story
it.
is called Harold's Fairy Tale, but it doesn't begin with once upon a time? Is it still a fairy tale?
Yes.
Yes, you're right. And what does a fairy tale always end with?
Happily ever after.
Happily ever
I'm
after.
gonna say that. Happily ever after.
One.
I say that.
Zoe.
Guess what thing?
Okay.
He's making a
Careful.
food.
Okay. One evening, Harold got out of bed.
For me, Blakey.
He took his purple crayon and the moon along, and he went for a walk in an enchanted garden. Okay, I'm waiting for Sebastian and Zoe and Dagan. Sebastian, please. So here's Harold, my favorite little character. You know, when I was a little girl, this was my favorite story. I love this story.
I love this story.
And here's the moon that he drew. And here's his line that he's making with his purple crayon. And he is going for a walk in an enchanted garden. Nothing grew in it. If he hadn't known it was an enchanted garden, Harold scarcely would have called it a garden at all. To find Daisy. To find out what the trouble was, Harold decided to ask the king. So let's look at this enchanted garden. Mariah, what?
Do you have any flowers?
I barely have enough to make Play-Doh, and that's what I'm planning on doing this week. I don't have money to buy more. If look up there in that top cupboard in that black bucket and see if there's some in the container. I don't want to open that bag yet because I need that exact amount for Play-Doh this week. But there might be some in a container next to it. Or ask Jody, she might have flour.
Jody.
Okay, so Mariah, what is in his enchanted garden? Do you see anything in his garden? Wait, I cannot hear Mariah. Just a moon. Daisy, are there any plants? Christina, are there any flowers? No, it's just the ground and the moon. So he's gonna go ask the king. Why? What's going on? Kings live in large castles. Harold had to make sure the castle was big enough to be the king's. So if he makes a little castle, is it going to be a king's castle?
No.
No. So he's making a really big castle for the king. He didn't want to waste time talking to any princes or earls or dukes.
Or princess.
Yep, he only wants to talk to the king.
Or dukes. What are dukes?
This, oh, I will talk to you guys about that in just a little while, okay? So, this was a king's castle, all right.
No.
It had tall towers, see all the towers?
I see the moon.
And it had a big draw gate right here. This is the gate
No.
that keeps people out that the king doesn't want to see. Yes, Daisy? Oh, maybe he's going to draw one. Let's wait and see. Zahir, I mean, Zoe. Actually, both of you. Fit your bubble. Can you believe I just called her your name? Oh, my mind is messed up today. It's kind of confused, I think. I called Zoe Zahir. Okay. Okay, you ready? Let's hear what happens. Okay, let's listen.
No,
So
Sebastian.
he drew a big draw gate,
Go wash your hands.
and it was closed. Let's see. Oh, but when the draw gate was drawn closed, it kept Harold out too. So if the gate is closed, how is Harold going to get in, I wonder?
Maybe it's not.
Harold shouted for the king to come down and let him in, but the gate didn't open.
Maybe it's not.
He walked along the edge of the enchanted garden beside the smooth wall of the castle until he thought of his purple crayon. Hmm.
Video.
A person smaller than a very small mouse would be able to get in the gate. So he's drawing a mouse, and it's a small mouse. Is that mouse smaller than Harold?
Yeah.
Look at Harold and look at the mouse. Is it smaller than Harold? Yeah, Harold is small, isn't he? Not the mouse. Without even bending, he walked into a very small mouse hole. So look at that. He used his purple crayon. He drew a small mouse and a small mouse hole. He walked through the mouse hole into the castle. He invited the mouse to come in too. But the mouse preferred to stay outside. As he gazed around inside the big castle, Harold felt very tiny. Can this really happen, or is this imaginary? Yeah. You know, you can do all kinds of imaginary things with your crayons.
Can we draw around all the...
We're going to find out in just a minute, baby. And a king might not pay much attention to anybody who was smaller than a mouse.
I think he's okay.
So if Harold is like this big, do you think the king is even going to see him? Oh, I wonder what is Harold going to do. So Harold used purple crayon again. Since he made sure this time that he was as tall as 4.5 steps of stairs. About his usual height.
Yeah, it's like the color blocks that they're separated that make stairs.
That's right, just like our stacking cubes to make stairs. So look at that, Harold is making stairs.
Whoa, that's a long stair.
Then he climbed up the stairs looking for the king. He went up, 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 up,
That's a
up,
lot.
until he got so tired that he could not climb up another step. Oh my goodness. And he's going to have to do like a kitty cat? I don't know. Luckily, there were no more steps. He had finally reached the top. He still couldn't find the king, but he remembered that kings sat on... Christina, what does a king sit on?
A throne.
Your name's not Christina. A throne, that's right. Christina has been practicing building thrones a lot lately. Her and Jalen have been building thrones next door to sit on, right? Yeah. So, the king doesn't sit in a regular chair. He only sits on the throne. So, Harold, look at, he's got his purple crayon. What's he drawing, Christina? What's he drawing? Yeah. The king's throne looked very comfortable. Harold thought the king wouldn't mind if he rested in the throne for a few minutes. I don't know.
How come he did this?
Only the king is supposed to sit in the throne?
So
So then, Harold, hold on to it and talk just a second. Hold on to it and talk just a second. Looks like a boat. So Harold sat on the throne, wondering what it was like to be a king and to wear a crown.
Logan, this crown.
Queen sit on a throne
No,
too. Cynthia and Zahir, please turn around and pay attention.
But this is too big.
He tried it with the king's crown. Uh-oh, now he's sitting on the throne and he's wearing the king's crown.
Look,
How did he get that That's right, Dagan. He drew it. What did he draw it with?
His purple crayon.
His purple crayon. That's right.
I was doing
It was all right for a little while, but the crown began to feel very heavy.
Good.
Uh-oh, the crown is getting heavy on his
I
head.
guess he needs a little crown.
Yeah, because Harold's little, huh? So Harold put the crown on the king's head.
What?
As he thanked the king for the loan of the crown, he noticed that the king looked sad. Oh no! Why is the king sad? Let's see. No doubt because of the garden.
You're sad.
Hmm. Maybe he asked the king if the trouble was due to a witch or a giant. The king couldn't say which. He looked sad and helpless. Oh, the poor king. Evidently the giant or the witch, if the king couldn't tell which it was invisible. Ooh. Invisible means you cannot see it. It's like it's disappeared. That's right, Lamar. But Harold told the king not to worry. So let's see here. So Harold told the king. What did Harold tell the king, Fernando?
I'll tell you now which does kill a garden, but they weren't invisible.
It was an invisible giant or an invisible witch killed the garden. But then Harold said, "Don't worry, king." He set off to find the invisible witch or giant, brandishing his purple crayon, and accidentally, it made a hole in the wall. Uh-oh, the crayon made a hole in the wall. The accident embarrassed Harold, but the hole was the handiest way out of the castle. So he climbed through it. So what do we have here, up here? What is this?
The sticky note!
The sticky note. And what does that sticky note tell us?
It means we're stopping.
That's right. We're going to stop the story here. And tomorrow we're going to read the rest of the story. And we're going to find out what else is Harold going to do with that purple crayon. And we're going to find out, what did he find? Did he find an invisible giant or an invisible witch? And did he find the enchanted garden? Ooh. And how is he going to get out of this hole? We will find out tomorrow. Yes, Dagan. That's okay. So you guys, today